Let's talk about being a cougar. Let's talk about being an accidental cougar. What is an accidental cougar? It's somebody who never really wanted to be a cougar. It's somebody who wanted to date people probably her own age. But then, I don't know what happened. Men become very boring very soon while women are becoming more interesting. And this especially goes for women who don't have children. Women who are traveling, seeing the world, doing their career, all that stuff, they're becoming way more interesting. And at the same time, men are getting into their routines and they like to go to the same place on the same day, do the same thing, eat the same dish. It's like, not that great. There are exceptions. There are guys who are really fascinating, and I love when I meet a guy who's my own age or around my own age who's fascinating. But sometimes you meet a guy who is your own age and you're like, oh, maybe, and then it comes out, back problems and have to take kids here and do this and that, kids and blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, can't do it, especially not after you've been dating guys who are in their 30s, or even 40s, but who are just learning things, doing fun things, changing all the time. They're exciting. And when you're used to excitement, when you're used to people who are fit, ready to go, filled with ideas, excited about change and adventure, it's very hard to go backwards. It's very, very hard. So the main thing is that a lot of women feel intimidated by dating someone who's younger than them. And if they feel intimidated, it's probably because they feel that younger women are better looking. And they are. They are. It's the truth. Guys who like older women aren't dating you because you're better looking than a 20-year-old. They're dating you because you're more interesting, drama-free, have your shit together. If you don't have your shit together, you're not interesting, and you're in your 40s, well, and you're still trying to work on your looks all the time, you're probably not the right type of woman to date younger guys. You need to date somebody who's older, who thinks you're interesting and fascinating, or at least good looking enough to just put up with you and pretend he finds you interesting. I'm starting to feel that parents need to date people who also have kids, because I don't think that unless you have kids, you can really understand. I mean, I'll admit it, I don't understand the lifestyle of somebody who's a parent. I don't. When you get up every morning and you think, what do I want to do today? Unless you're working. But if you're not working, you're thinking, what do I want to do? How am I going to improve myself, really? What am I going to learn? How am I going to improve myself? When you're thinking that way, and you suddenly try to date somebody who's thinking, how can I improve my child today? Maybe they're doing something that's more honorable, I don't know, but they're not, for me, dateable. I've even sort of thought that unless they are, I guess, exorbitantly wealthy and it doesn't really affect their life to have children, it's not like the job ever ends. So say you're dating someone who has kids and you think, oh, but the kids will be out of the house in a couple years. Well, then they're going to be driving to see them at college. Then they're going to be planning that kid's wedding. Then they're going to have grandchildren and they're going to be all about their grandchildren. So it never really ends. So if you don't have children and you're hoping to just travel the world and have the most fun, carefree times with someone, more than likely it's not going to happen with somebody who's got kids. So if you don't have kids, consider dating a younger man. A lot of younger men these days don't even want kids. That's what I'm finding out. They don't even want them. When I started dating younger men, which was on accident, let me say that. It was completely on accident. Never really wanted that. But back then, the main question I would always be asking would be, do you want children? Because I don't. There was a part of my life where I did want children, or I thought I wanted children. Did I really even want children? I kind of think I did not, is the truth. I think I made choices that led me to exactly where I wanted to be. So, but there was a time I thought I wanted children, and then that passed and I realized I absolutely don't want children, not at all, for so many reasons. I was traveling, seeing this amazing planet, and I knew I didn't want to be responsible for someone else. I didn't want to worry about the world, because I think if you have kids, you can always have to think about what the world is coming to. But if it's just you, it's like, I can handle it. Anyway, I knew that being child-free was the right choice for me, and I would date younger guys, and I would say, but don't you want kids? And I would ask them so many times, because I wanted to be sure before I got into a relationship with them that they really didn't. And funny enough, those people who I dated who said they didn't want kids, who were younger than me back then, none of them have kids now. 0. So they really didn't want kids. They never wanted them. And now, when I meet someone who's younger, I will tell you that it seems as though only 50% of guys even want kids anymore. Maybe because they're just so expensive. Maybe because people are more selfish. Or maybe they're less selfish. They're not wanting to have kids and then not do a good job and think that's okay. So maybe they're just making a responsible choice by knowing that they're not going to be a good parent, or they're not interested in doing the work that it takes to be a good parent. So they don't have kids. So that's not a problem anymore. All you have now are the benefits, which is you're in your 40s, you have learned a lot, you have a lot to share, and you want somebody whose energy level matches yours, someone who's not in competition with you but appreciates you. And it just works out so well to be with someone younger. I'll never stop saying this because it's, in my experience, the truth. Now, I'm open-minded, and I could meet somebody who is, I don't know, there are people in the world who I think are so fascinating, and they would have been fascinating when they were 20, but they only have become better. And one of them is Elon Musk. He is phenomenal. I am all for him making as many children as he possibly can, because he is quite a specimen. And so, I mean, if I met a guy like that, of course I'd be interested. Older than me, but like just an amazing person, of course. And he's learning constantly. Robert Breedlove, he's another one who I think, wow, like, too bad he only has one kid. He needs to populate this planet with those little brilliant offspring. Would that be called eugenics? Uh-oh, I don't know. Anyway, my point is that these amazing people, if I met one of those, I'd be very open to dating them. But these guys are probably wanting children. And so they want someone who is at the right time of her life to give them children. Rightfully so. So probably won't happen anyway. See what I'm saying? Anyway, that's all I'm going to say on that right now. I just rambled. And that's what I'm going to do until I start going chapter by chapter from my book and speaking in a focused way. Right now, I'm just sort of letting you know what I'm about, what I believe in, what's worked for me, and to give it a chance. Thank you for watching. You all are wonderful, and you deserve somebody who's energetic, appreciates you, worships you, and really makes you happy. Take care.